Okay, the second part of this lesson today, lesson 5.3, is actually taking a chart where they have written out, okay, a couple of sets of numbers here, purchase and total cost compared to last month and this month. So last month, 2 ringtones cost $6. This month, we bought 3 ringtones and we're trying to figure out how many dollars it would be. Now, they ask you to write it as a proportion. That does not mean you have to solve it at all. They want you to transfer the information in this chart to two ratios or fractions, if you want to look at it that way, being compared. It is as unbelievably easy as taking 2 ringtones and $6 and writing it as 2 over 6. 2 ringtones over $6 equals 3 ringtones over X dollars, 3 ringtones over X dollars. You've literally copied it out of this chart. This is one of your ratios. This is the second ratio. I've copied them out of this chart and just written them down below here as two ratios being compared with an equal sign. If it just asks you to write a proportion, you're done. If it asks you to solve for this proportion, you could do this. Now, most people are going to go, I don't know how to go from 2 over to 3 up here, 2 over 2, 3. Okay. They're also showing you that you can use the rows on this. You basically can do the cross product on this, that 6 times 3 is going to be 18. 2 times what is going to also be 18 if this is a proportional setup. It would be 9. Okay. But actually for the homework, for the classwork, for what you're doing today, basically they're asking you for the first part to just write it, literally taking these two things and rewriting them over here as a fraction. These two on top of each other, literally being copied out, and it's now a fraction. The two are being compared. This is our proportion. Two ratios being compared with an equal sign. Okay. Then it does ask you to go on and figure out how to solve this particular proportion. Okay, so basically you can do this in two different ways. You can do what we have done with fractions so we have, for instance, here 3/2 is equal to X over 8. You could do, all right, what did I do to 2 to make it become 8? Well, I multiplied it by 4. So I could do the same thing to the top here. 3 times 4 equals 12. The other way that I could do this is my cross multiplication again, that 3 times 8 is 24 on one side, so I'd have 24 that I would be writing down. Pardon me for 1 second here. So if I were doing that, I'd have 24. And I want to know what 2x, up here, 2 times x, what would 2 times what number is going to equal 24? Well, we did equations already. If you wanted to get really precise, you could divide both sides by 2, and 12 equals x. That's basically showing your work. Or if somebody was asking you to explain your work, that you could show it this way instead of having to write an entire paragraph about it. Okay, the last one that they're going to be asking you to do today is asking if you could do it with mental math. Basically, can you figure this out in your head by doing this? Some of the numbers they're the example they chose to use, I think, is awful. Okay, most of us are not normally going to do 1.5 times something in our head and automatically get to 6. Some of us can do that, but some of us it would look like, okay, nope, not going to do it. This is actually a better example up here of using mental math, that you could have done 2 times what equals 8. That's times 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. That's mental math. I didn't need to write any of it out. This one I actually think most of us would have to write out. Okay, so those are the 3 things that they're basically asking you to do. Yep, double checking. Asking you to do for today is be able to pull out of a chart your proportion. They're pretty much already written inside the chart. And then either be able to use mental math, where you could do what you previously have learned about fractions. What do I do to this denominator to change it to that one? Or that you can do your cross products in this particular case. So we had 1.5. You have 1.5 over 1 equals 6 over x. So if we cross multiply, you're going to have 1.5 x, equals 6. You're going to divide both sides by 1.5. There's an awful lot of people who are going to need to get a calculator for this, okay, which is amazing, okay. And what you're going to end up getting when you do this, 1.5 going into 6, okay, yes, maybe, no, okay, is going to be 4. The reason they're saying that this could be mental math is that you could put a 0.0 on here, and if you know 15 minutes, there are 4 groups of 15 minutes in 60 minutes, an hour, so that if you're looking at these almost being like 15 and 60, that you should know that the answer is 4. I don't really think that that works for everybody. If it does, bravo.